It's time for this week's episode of the Vol Vet Review. So Dr. Ursini wrapped up our laminitis series last week, and now we are starting a new series about navicular degeneration, otherwise known as navicular disease. So even though Baby Seven's home, we are so thankful to Dr. Ursini and the rest of the UT Knoxville team for helping us educate and continue this series. So I'm really excited to hand it over to Dr. Ursini now. And she will be actually coming and making a visit here in a couple weeks to check on Baby Seven in person. So look forward to that. But here's Dr. Ursini about navicular.
Hey guys, Dr. Tina Ursini from the University of Tennessee here with the next series we're going to do for the Vol Vet Review on navicular degeneration or navicular disease or navicular. They're all kind of the same thing. Some people call it caudal heel pain. That's another kind of word out there in the industry. So I thought we would start with some anatomy first and foremost. So this is just a model, a plasticized model. All of these kind of leather straps are depicting soft tissues. And so we're going to go through all of those together. So this green one is the superficial digital flexor tendon. Again, it runs down the back of the leg. Just to orient you, this is the horse's cannon bone or kind of shin bone. This is P3 that we talked about with laminitis. So this is in the hoof capsule. Cannon bone, proximal phalanx or P1, middle phalanx or P2, distal phalanx or P3. So again, back to the flexor tendons. So the green one is the most superficial, so it's called the superficial digital flexor tendon. It comes down and inserts down here on P1 and P2. The red one is the one that we're most worried about for navicular disease. That's the deep digital flexor tendon. So again, runs all the way down the back of the leg, over the back of the fetlock joint where we are here, over the sesamoids, and then inserts down, runs over the navicular bone and inserts down on the very distal aspect, the solar margin of P3. So when we talk about navicular disease, we can reflect this back actually, and you can kind of see this little bone right here is the navicular bone. And this is actually fairly anatomic and two size for about a normal 900-pound horse. You can see how tiny that little bone is. It in itself has its own suspensory ligaments to kind of hold it in place, and also what we call the impar ligament here that holds it to the back of P3. The other important structure is the one depicted by this, and so when the deep digital flexor tendon is here, and actually, on the leg, there is a fluid-filled structure called the navicular bursa. So that bursa can get inflamed, and it's supposed to be a little fluid-filled cushion to kind of prevent any kind of trauma to the deep digital flexor tendon. And we're going to stick this back on here. Down here where it belongs. And so as this horse moves, you can see the deep digital flexor tendon kind of runs up and down and over that navicular bone. And so over time, with trauma or with inflammation, it can become damaged. So when we talk about navicular disease, navicular degeneration, it's multifactorial. Some horses have a primary problem with the navicular bone itself, and that's kind of its own problem. In some horses, we're seeing more and more of what we call soft tissue injuries or deep digital flexor tendinopathy associated with navicular disease. So now that we have a grasp on the anatomy, next session we're going to talk about, okay, what does it actually look like? How do we diagnose those horses? And what are some of the diagnostics? We'll get back to the radiographs and the MRIs. So look for that on the next episode, and we'll see you next week.
So I hope you enjoyed that. Again, this is going to be a multiple part series, so stay tuned for next week. I will have the link to the UT Knoxville Research Fund in my link tree, or if this is on Facebook, in the comments. You can also donate towards Baby Seven's scholarship that goes to third-year equine vet students. They have so many different amazing programs that you can actually pick where you donate towards, so go check that out and stay tuned for next week's update. Boop us out, will ya?